Sorry to be delayed. That is totally my fault. Happy to get the meeting kicked off for the October 7th, 2025 Kenton County Fiscal Court. Please stand for the invocation and pledge. So good evening. Heavenly Father, we ask you to be with us this evening as we work on behalf of the citizens of Kenton County. We thank you this evening also for all the blessings we receive daily, and those especially we forget to be thankful for, our families, our community, and this wonderful country we live in. We ask you to be with all those who serve our country, our community, all the staff, and all those who do the special things that make Kenton County special. We ask you to be with us this evening as we do the services and work on behalf of the citizens of Kenton County, that everything we say and do is pleasing to your will. We ask this in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. What's that?
Powerful prayer. They're great.
Either that was God not being happy or was happy. Okay, we have a minutes approval for the September 23rd meeting.
So moved.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Before we have our citizens address, I'm asking Kelly Sauer from Animal Services to come up and address the court. We have going to keep us updated. Good evening.
Good evening, Judge and Commissioners. I want to begin by acknowledging that the situation I'm about to discuss has been deeply upsetting, not just for our community, but for those who love and advocate for animals and for the Kenton County Animal Services team. The loss of any animal is heartbreaking, and this particular case has understandably stirred strong emotions. The report before you, which I believe everybody's gotten a copy of, details facts-based timeline of the events surrounding the death of a dog last month. In brief, on September 25th, animal control officers were called to a home in Covington following a report of possible neglect involving several pit bulls. This was the first time we were notified about the home in question, and our officers responded within roughly 1 hour of the call coming in. The officers observed 2 of the 3 pit bulls, and they were underweight but alert and active. After speaking with the homeowner, our officers learned these dogs belonged to the homeowner's sister, who lived in another county, and who the homeowner claimed is responsible for the dog's physical condition. In the roughly month the dogs had been in Kenton County, the homeowner worked to help both dogs gain weight, one more successfully than the other, which the homeowner said was suffering from repeated vomiting. While on site, our officers provided the homeowner with a verbal care plan, which included specific directions on how to ensure the dogs were receiving enough nutrients. After this conversation, the homeowner expressed a desire to rehome these 3 pit bulls. Our officers then provided the homeowner with resources on potential rehoming partners and contacted a fellow animal control officer to see whether we, KCIS, could directly connect the homeowner with a rescue partner. Before leaving, our officers gave the homeowner a 2-week period of improvement to recheck the dogs for their improvement of physical health, or else we would have to increase the intervention efforts. Our internal efforts to rehome both dogs were successful, and a rescue partner was secured on Sunday, September 28th, with plans to transfer the malnourished pit bulls to the rescue's care on Tuesday afternoon. Given both dogs were successfully removed from the home where they suffered neglect and the homeowner's willingness to provide care for both dogs, our officers made the decision to allow both animals to remain within the homeowner until transfer. Unfortunately, before that transfer could take place, one of the dogs' health declined rapidly and the animal passed away. At no point during the dog's decline was KCS contacted regarding the dog's health, or else our team would have intervened. I want to stress that even if we knew this dog's health was declining, we would have returned to the home and taken the dog for further evaluation from a medical professional. In fact, continuing conversations with the homeowner regarding the dog's surrender to the rescue gave every indication that both dogs would be successfully arriving at the rescue for their drop-off location. KCAS did not learn of the dog's death until after the transfer of the remaining dog to the rescue, and after the original owner returned to the homeowner's address to collect the deceased dog's body. As a result, our team was unable to conduct a necropsy to determine the dog's cause of death. Since the original owner does not live in Kenton County, we were very limited on our ability to collect the body. This is a tragic outcome, one that continues to weigh heavily on everyone involved. Our officers followed existing protocol and acted in accordance with state law and departmental standards. But we recognize policies and best practices are only as strong as our ability to continually evaluate and improve them. In response, our team has already begun a comprehensive review of this incident to identify where communication, procedures, or decision-making processes might be strengthened. Our goal is not only to understand what happened, but to learn from it, to ensure we have every possible safeguard in place for future cases. Kenton County Animal Services remains a no-kill organization with a long-standing commitment to animal welfare, community partnership, and responsible pet ownership. The balance between compassion, enforcement, and education is not always simple, but our dedication to doing what's best for both animals and people remains unwavering. We know the community expects accountability, transparency, and empathy in how we handle these matters. We share that expectation, and as we move forward, we will continue to learn, evolve, and act in ways that honor the trust of our residents. Thank you.
Thanks, Kelly, for the update. I know it's never something you want to have an outcome like happen, but I know everybody's very caring and appreciate the hard work that continues. Okay. Commissioners, we're going to go on with our citizens' address. We have asked, or not asked, Mike Biachi has asked to address the court. Mike? Good evening.
Thank you, Judge, members of the commission.
You bet.
Just got a few notes. My name is Mike Bianchi. I appreciate this opportunity to speak. I'm a homeowner and resident in Erlang, and I own a home in Independence where my mother resides. I want to speak briefly about my experiences with Kenton County Animal Services and Director Sauer. My situation involves an aggressive and vicious dog that's been allowed to roam for years, and the situation has escalated over the past year. After numerous attempts to get resolution through Animal Services, Mr. Gunning, Mr. Drouge, you may remember my name. Communicating with you and your intervention was the only thing that got anything done. The owner was cited. He pled guilty. The dog was out the next day. Continued to be out. I contacted Ms. Sauer again, and like before, I got one reply, and then, as they say, crickets. I got nothing. I was kind of determining my next step in coming to this body for help again when this pit bull story broke. Granted, they're different, and there's animal control side of the story, which I was not privy to until tonight. But the specifics to the response are just very similar. Seemingly kicking the can down the road, being slow to communicate, and nothing getting done. If I were in your position, I would just want to know this. It's for you to take and weigh as you see fit. I accept that. It just seems to be kind of the routine response from Animal Services to their action, or rather their inaction. So I appreciate this opportunity. If any of you would like to speak to me further, I can make myself available, and I have extensive documentation of the situation I've dealt with for the past year.
Very good.
So your complaint is there's a wild dog's been running loose for over a year, and you contacted us to do something about it, and we haven't responded. Is that what you're saying?
Well, Animal Services hasn't. With your and Mr. Gunning's intervention back in June, something was done, and that was the only time anything substantive was done, and you guys were the only one to substantively follow up with me.
We can share with the court the history of the incident with Mr., and I'm going to butcher your name, I'm sorry.
Bianchi, that's okay.
Bianchi, okay. I will make one comment, though, just by the record that was expressed tonight. The situations are vastly different.
Okay.
You saw the response was within days, and we were trying to get the dogs into rescue. That was our first goal from the first meeting. So to say that they were non-responsive, I'm going to say that that's not true. Everything about the record that was presented tonight shows that the animal control was trying everything they can to get the dogs into the rescue and into a good spot. Other than that, I would love to discuss your matter more and to express some details about what has been going on with that situation. So
I accept what you're saying. I just, to me, it feels similar to me, but either way, I'm just very disappointed with the response I've gotten. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much. I appreciate the being kind in your commentary and just being willing to share it. We do appreciate that. Okay, we're going to move on to other general business. Sure, go ahead.
I'm Rebecca Louise Hicks. I'm a Kenton County resident and a former deputy dog warden, humane agent, and vet tech. I want to first ask, when's the last time any of you all have been to the shelter?
And Rebecca, we're not going to get an
Oh, I'm
engagement,
sorry.
but feel free to go ahead and continue your comments for a couple minutes. But it's been in the past few months, but go ahead.
Well, I've been working with you for 10 years.
Yeah,
10
you got
years.
it.
5 directors. I have been pleading. I have waited. I've sent emails. We have met. And actually, last we met, you cited the rural voters as a fear of, you didn't want to alienate them at our last meeting. That's what you said. So with that said, I just want to get to it real quick. So I was going to talk about the proposals. I've definitely emailed Spike. Is that his name?
Chief Jones?
Chief Jones.
Yes, ma'am.
And I've emailed her, all of you, and so on. I've gotten nowhere. And so really, just in 1 week, I'll just give you an example. In 1 week, I've heard about a Cincinnati dog from Cincinnati Animal Cares being adopted to a Kenton County resident. In 24 hours, that dog killed a dog, injured another, and injured 3 people. And then I heard about these 2 dogs that were on Kenton County's watch, and one died while waiting. And this cycle has played out over and over and over. And just in this interaction, I'm made to feel, like a nuisance and so on. So I just would implore something be done. I will say the county does seem more focused on the business development and the golf courses and the pickleball. This is the worst shelter crisis in my lifetime. Something's got to change. I, for one, would appreciate my proposals being taken seriously, the 2 of which was the dog bite prevention and general humane education. Without educating the public, the cycle will never change. I would also like the animal rescues to get more cooperation. These 2 dogs, the one that died is an example. The inaction from the Kenton County Animal Services has been a pattern year after year after year. And really the ones that suffer are the dogs and the community members. But there's been 5 directors in 9 years. Cats are being discarded like we did pigeons. So in a matter of years, the cats will be like the pigeons that you see in that's what we did to pigeons. So with all that said, I would just implore that something change. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wait a
Thank you,
minute.
John. We're going to cut that off this evening, if you
What
don't
was
mind.
your last-
I'd like to cut off the
What was
conversation.
the last name?
My last name
Miss
Hicks.
Hicks, Miss Hicks, Rebecca Hicks.
I'm Frank Hicks's daughter.
Yeah.
Frank,
He
Frank
died
Hicks's
9/11
daughter?
of this year, yes.
Yeah.
Did you send me an email?
No, her, these 3 I've talked to. What's confusing me is
Rebecca,
why-
we're just going to go ahead and cut the conversation off,
Because-
if
Can I
I
just ask
can.
one question?
No, because you're not saying correct things that are not true. So therefore, we're going to continue, we're going to move on. We've given.
What wasn't true?
That we've offered to sit down and chat. You've canceled that, and we've actually offered to do that, and you've had
My dad was
parameters.
dying, that's why I canceled.
That it doesn't change the facts.
Okay.
Anytime we will sit down, we will reach it, we will continue to
I'm not
sit
sitting
down
down
and
for
chat.
meetings, sir. I just would love something to change, and then my 2 proposals
Got
to
it.
be.
We will get together. Thank you. Let's move on to the meeting. Okay, we got general business. Moving on. Request for approval of our proposal of our parking garage podium by Dugan and Myers for 1111 Main Street. Joe?
Yes, the podium is what the apartments are going to be built on. That is the proposal that Dugan and Myers sent us. And if all goes well, what we currently have under contract will be sufficient to cover that. And I recommend that we approve the proposal as presented.
I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second.
Thank you. Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Request for approval for memorandum of understanding between the fiscal court and the water district for additional ARPA funds.
We had already approved the support of Subdistrict O, but now that they have gotten approval from the PSC, they asked for a memorandum of agreement, and that's just memorializing our prior commitment.
Good.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Motion is second. Any question or comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Budget adjustment, Kurt?
Yep, just one budget adjustment tonight, $3,475 going into the police's state asset forfeiture expenditure line. This is going to be used to buy out a contract for an officer from another agency.
Motion approved.
I'll second it.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consent agenda, we have, 10 items and number of items. If you have any questions or specific, would like to handle any of them separately.
I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Did we have a second on that? Did we get a
That was
second?
me.
We
Yeah.
did get a motion second? Okay, great. Executive order, approving the appointment of Dan Gronick, Kurt Grievenkamp, and Steve Hensley to the 911 Parcel Fee Appeals Board.
So moved.
Second, no. Second, I'll do a second.
Okay, motion is second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Order 25-127, approving the reappointment of Dave Jansing to the Emergency Communications Board.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Order 25-128, approving the reappointment of Tim Bessler to the Police Merit Board.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Order 25-129, approving the reappointment of Kevin Murphy to the Northern Kentucky Convention Center Board.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Order 25-130, approving the appointment of Jude Heeman to the Emergency Communications Board.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Order 25-131, approving the appointment of Dan Bell to the OKI Board.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Order 25-132, approving the reorganization of the Police Department.
So moved.
Second.
Explain what that reorganization is.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner,
Because
we
we've
have
had
for
several
some,
reorganizations here, haven't we?
well, anytime you make a modification of the structure, you need to have this board approve it. So what has happened is, when we initially did the QTR position, we had a federal grant that funded that QTR position. But he had to do the specific position duties for that grant. Well, that grant ran out August 1st, and the goal was always to have the QTR position be QRT, over top of the new navigators positions that we're going to use the opioid funds to fund. So we had to wait till that grant ran out October 1st, and now we're reorganizing, putting those positions underneath of the QRT position for supervision. That's simply all we're doing here is
Yeah. Okay,
having them.
So it's no real big reorganization.
No,
really.
it's
No,
not at all.
he did get a 5% increase to supervise 4 positions, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
I made a motion.
I'll
And
second
a
it.
second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Order 25-133, approving the appointment of Ariel Cadell as Animal Service Tech for Animal Services.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Order 25-134, accepting the resignation of George Krutstanch as a public service safety telecommunicator in emergency communications.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, George, for your great service. Order 25-135, approving the appointment of Dan Hampton as a contract police officer for the police department.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We're up to reporting. Mr. Stanton. External Affairs.
I saw Jessica on the agenda, and I thought, didn't realize she wasn't here this evening. Just a couple things real quick. Since I last reported to you all, we had the opening at Spark House. For those of you that might have seen some of the publicity and everything surrounding it, we had about 300 people in attendance. And since then, it's had pretty continuous activity going on from usually 8 a.m. in the morning until 8 p.m. at night. The last time I checked, 28 out of the 35 offices there had been leased. Of course, this week is Startup Cincy, which is the region's largest startup event during the year. And actually today was Brand Fusion, which is a Dave Knox help-inspired marketing conference here in Cincinnati. So at least initially at launch, all is going well there and kind of in line with what we had in mind. I don't know whether Commissioner Sewell had a chance to attend, but last night was the Age Well Study Housing public hearing. I think they had about 30 folks attend. Laura Allen gave me a great update on it. That study continues to move along well. They've completed 2 of the 4 public sessions. They still have, I think, mobility and social connectivity that remain to be done, but they've done the long-term care and the housing sessions. And on a little bit lighter note related to that, we did have, thanks to Sue Kaiser and her team, a very successful senior picnic. And I want to throw a shout out to the Kenton County Detention Center. For 11 years now, County Administrator Shriver and I have had the pleasure of dispensing coffee and Danishes, et cetera. And as always, the Kenton County Detention Center, who provides those goods, did an incredible job this year. And maybe the most successful year because they introduced donuts to the mix, and those were gone before anybody could imagine. Last thing I'll mention is that we're beginning to do some cooperative work under the leadership of the City of Covington for a concept called Bridging the Gap. I think we all know that in the near future, the addition at the Brent Spence Bridge site, as well as the closure at the 4th Street Bridge, will create some traffic flow issues in the core. And we're going to be working with them, and you may have seen the announcement from the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet that they're going to help fund some busing services to help kind of overcome some of the circulatory issues that will exist while that construction project's going on. But I think there'll probably be more to be reporting to you kind of in the near future on that. Happy to answer any questions you might have.
I have a question. Do you have any idea when they're going to start this Brent Spence project? They said they were going to start it last fall and this fall.
I would probably defer to Spencer on that one. I mean, you see little activity going on here and there, so it's. I would have a hard time describing what they consider starting. They may have, in their own minds, have already started.
Really?
But
Spencer, good.
Spencer might have as a recovering attorney and a government employee, that's probably not my area of specialty. So.
Thanks, John.
We don't know anything definitively at this point. They have been doing some utility work, so I know that's what's going to start off the project, and then we expect more to happen here soon. I think they're going to start with the river crossing. So,
But I think, John, everything through Covington there, in terms of property acquisition and tearing down some buildings and staging areas, drainage, that really has started. They tore down, our sign, obviously in front of the county building. They're moving, I think, did they actually, last weekend, was the big pole moved?
I don't know that the big pole was moved.
They're moving that huge power line that goes across the expressway. They got to move that some distance. So I think not just planning, but real stuff is moved now. They're not building, of course, trellises and things yet, but all the behind-the-scenes stuff is happening. So, okay. Do you want to go into your report?
yeah, I'll go ahead.
Good.
So last week we were able to finish up our restriping program that we do every year. Our contractor got it done in just a couple of days, and that's due to an effort from our engineering services division. They made things more efficient by doing a more regional approach to our striping. So that's all good news. Our fall cleanup at Public Works, we had that a couple of weekends ago. We ended up getting a little over 800 loads, about 40 more than last year. Great turnout. Got a lot of scrap, electronics, picked up a lot of tires. So Our next event will be November 1st. That's the Household Hazardous Waste event that we participate in with Boone and Campbell counties. That's going to be at the Thomas More Stadium, previously Florence Yalls, and that's from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on November 1st.
And that's hazardous stuff, that's paint.
Yep. Yeah, oil-based paint. If it's latex paint, we have hardener that you can use to get that hardened up and then be able to dispose of it in your trash. So here in a couple of weeks, we're going to have FEMA come up to do some inspections on some of the projects that we submitted for the flooding event that happened back in April. So that's good news. We'll get to have them look at a couple of our sites and determine how we go from here. I'd like to thank Susan Hinkle up in Treasury. She's done a great job helping move along the process for us. And we had our parking garage punch list walkthrough this week, last week. The contractor's been tidying up some of that stuff, so phase 1 is getting very close to being finished. And then, as Joe mentioned earlier, then we'll hopefully roll right into phase 2 with the podium.
We think we'll get access to the garage, what's the date now, we're thinking next week?
Monday. That's your preview. I haven't told the departments that yet, but that email is going to go out tomorrow sometime after we talk logistics. But Monday, we should be parking in the garage, at least partially, because there's still going to be construction going on with the podium and with the apartments following that. But we will have access to 2/3 of the garage there. We'll still have access to underneath 75 till February of next year. We have an arrangement with Turner's Hall still, so there is plenty of parking to go around.
This is related, of course, to the building of the Brent Sprints, but when are we not allowed to park under the viaduct there?
Well, you talk about dates moving. My first date was December 31st of '24 was when we were going to stop parking there, but they have now told me February of '26, and I would imagine that unless we see something else, it might move back another point.
Months or something.
Yeah.
The good news is they thought they were going to need that earlier for some staging, where they would block it all off, not just to tear stuff down, but to store a lot of things.
Yeah.
And they haven't had to do that, in addition to their just, pushing back some of their other part of the project, so.
So that
Well-
parking garage is ready? That's really rapid, isn't it?
Well, it's right on time. I mean, Dugan and Myers, I've given them props face to face, but I'm going to say it publicly. They have performed exceptionally. Like I said, there are some contingencies that I believe will be coming back to the court that will help with the cost that you took on today. And that's a testament to their management of the project. They had very few weather days for the weather we had over this past winter. They are going to start work on the front simultaneously with being able to park in the garage. We have to shorten our front yard at the 1840 Simon Kenton Way. So here's another spoiler. There's going to be work being done in that front from I guess, the 13th through Thanksgiving, basically.
Yep, that's about right, yeah.
So there will be a little bit of a mess.
The
in
redo of the front
yard.
stop.
We'll have shorter parking lanes. They're going to be reducing the islands because of the Brent Spence Bridge right-of-way gets expanded into our front yard. But hopefully after their construction's done, we'll be able to put that back and pretty it up a little bit once they get their work done.
But Dugan and Myers, I tell you what, they've done financially, operationally, done an extraordinary job, not just the timeline, but once you get out there and see it, they've done a great job. It's a great, you talk about now that asset on top of the county building, it's great. And thanks for your work, Spencer, on that with Joe. I know you did it all, and Joe just talks about it, but
It's true. Just one quick question. Traffic studies on the different highways, like traffic counts. How is that a routine practice, or they do say 3L Highway, Are there points on 3L Highway that we do different traffic counts at any given time?
Yeah, it is somewhat routine, but also you can, entities can request that traffic studies be completed at particular locations along a route.
Do they generally do it at intersections, or they do it?
I think it varies. I mean, the traffic studies, though, generally, I think a lot of those, are focused on the intersections, but as far as the counts, it's kind of sporadic. They actually, KYTC has a map on their website that
So I was going to
shows,
ask you if that's on their website that you can.
it'll show the traffic count, where it was taken, and the year it was completed,
Gotcha.
so.
Do you, do you know if they're finished with the Dixie Highway for this year?
So I did reach out to him about the, that spot by the cemetery. by
Yeah, I know.
Cemetery Cemetery.
In fact, I wanted to commend Spencer because, I make some crazy requests sometimes. But he always responds and gets back to me, and I do appreciate your effort there because in the problem I'm talking about, of course, is you said they had to work with the water district on that, but I meant just, generally they've been doing the Dixie Highway, and I forget where they are now, down around, I guess at the Greyhound is where they've stopped.
Yes, that's.
Do they plan on doing any more?
We have a meeting with them coming up here soon. I'll reach out to them and see what their time frame is on any additional this year. I know they have some additional routes that they still want to get completed before the plant shut down, but I don't know for sure if a portion of Dixie Highway.
Well, I'd stay on top of that water district issue though, because that's really, you probably have gone down there. That's a pretty bad spot from
I would agree.
in front of the Highland Cemetery there. But probably if you don't stay on top of it, it'll linger to next year.
Hey.
And I wanted to ask Joe, last time when I brought this up, remember we had an agreement with the, last time you said that the agreement only was with the unincorporated areas. But as I remember, when I made the proposal, the first time was with the city of Crescent Springs, down around the Griffin Elite in that area. So we did have an agreement with them, unless I'm
Are
not
you speaking
recalling
about with the
correctly.
state you're talking about?
Well,
Agreement with the state?
To fix the pothole and then later get reimbursed.
Spencer, you
Our-
want to speak to that?
Yeah, our operations are mainly set up for more rural routes, and that's typically what our agreement, follows.
Yeah.
When you get into a situation like Dixie Highway or a major highway, it's just, the amount of traffic control you need and the specific, items that go along with that. It's just not part of our typical routine setup, so we don't really do, it would be rare for us to do anything like
But
that.
what I want to know,
No, there is
isn't that what
pockets of-
happened with the original?
Well, there is pockets of unincorporated in Crescent Springs and Villa Hills area and all those.
Oh, are they?
Amsterdam and all that, yeah, it runs in and out of unincorporated and incorporated cities. And the good news is, I think some of the other cities have started to get agreements with KYTC to do just what we've been doing for several years now,
Okay.
so.
And you always, you're always there to help as
Right.
one-offs if something comes up, and then they'll give approval for us to do it,
Yeah.
spot repair or something.
Yeah,
That's-
because if I remember correctly, I said people don't give a damn about who does it. All they want is a pothole to be filled.
Exactly,
They don't
that's
care
right.
which government entity does it,
Yeah,
And,
and I will tell you, John, you're right, Spencer and the team have been very responsive, both follow the process to inform the state, but be helpful, and that, I think that'll continue, and
Yes,
doing a good job.
absolutely.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Thank you. Kelly, I don't think you have anything else to cover this evening, so we'll move on to Kurt.
Good evening. Just need the record to reflect that the financial reports for September have been submitted.
That's pretty early.
It was early.
That's good.
Yeah, it's good.
Need to add some more work to you, I guess. Okay. County Administrator's Report.
Just a quick shout out to Steve Hensley. He was recently acknowledged in a publication, and I don't say this to make fun. Normally I do. I totally would do this normally, but I actually read some of the article, and it is really cool because it is a career service, and I think it was well-deserved. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And the parking was my other report, so I've already said that.
What kind of award did Brother Hensley get?
It was, what is it, Villa Hills, Crescent Springs Living, I think, did a...
Article?
Article on his family and his
Oh, okay.
career.
I didn't.
And it takes a little while to talk about Steve's career, so.
Yeah, I would like to get a framed copy of that, maybe.
Signed copy.
Well, I was looking for him, but they said he ordered, they said he ordered like 2,500
Is it
of
true that
them.
Hensley has double citizenship now, Mexican and also U.S.?
We're going to move on, John. Let's do the county attorney's report.
I just want to thank.
You guys are going to miss me, you know.
You're exactly right.
I just want to thank the court for investing the opioid dollars into the police social worker navigator program. I had the opportunity with a couple of my staff to provide a training last week for some things that they may need to know about as they deploy into the community. And I know they're already working hard, and I think it's going to be a very successful program that benefits all the other pieces of my office that I do outside of the county government. So thanks.
Great stuff. And there were good hires, I think, good people who are going to be very competent. Commissioner Drow, we're back to you, sir.
This animal situation, I got a lot of email, when I say a lot, 7 or 8, but one of them said, I kind of remember the policy that we had become so, I don't know, so I guess we just didn't have enough animals. We didn't have to euthanize any animals. And this one said that we are back to euthanizing animals.
No, well, we are a no-kill shelter under the Judy Bernard, am I saying that correctly? Judy Bernard benefactors. But there's no question we have filled up since, I guess, and I could let Kelly address this situation, but we have filled back up. Our kennel is full, and that's why we are working with every resource possible, fosters or with rescues, to try and keep animals from coming into the shelter and staying there. If we can get them placed in rescues and get them to where they're not coming into the shelter, it's not a financial thing. It is a care situation, because we don't want to bring them into a shelter, number one, that already is at capacity or very close, but number two, the chance of them remaining there. When you can get them into foster care or into a rescue, you're having folks care for that out of a shelter situation. I was out there last week with Kelly having our bi-weekly meeting, and we do our walkthrough at the end of each of those meetings, and we have quite a bit going on. And I will say this, and this is all I'll say about it, is we had personnel action occur recently that left us shorthanded, okay? But we're working through that process, and it is still going through the process, and that's why I asked the court in reference to that situation not to make comment. But to answer your question, Commissioner, yes, we are still a no-kill shelter, but that does not eliminate the fact that in certain circumstances, with the health and welfare of the animal in question, you do still euthanize. It's just you don't euthanize as your first option. The euthanization is your last option. That's my understanding. That's what we've been operating under for the last 3 directors.
Well, how do you reckon the philosophy that we're a no-kill? I mean, if we euthanize animals,
I'm going to let someone more articulate than me.
Actually, let me do this, Kelly. Actually, let's do this. Let's follow back up with kind of a recap of that, a little educational point of that down the road, and maybe the next meeting, if that would be okay, just to
Okay.
kind of, I think it'd be good to explain both what we're doing, investment, as well as the timing of that we can kind of cover that,
That's
if that's okay.
fine with me.
Yeah. Any other question there, Commissioner? Are you
No,
good?
that's it for
Okay.
me.
Commissioner Sewell?
Yeah, I'd love to see that report, and I'd just like to see a 10-year span of all the animals we've saved. I am certain that it's thousands and thousands. I'd read something recently that animal shelters are facing a national overcrowding crisis, and it's, several factors that we're dealing with, so call it a perfect storm, and sad for you that you had to take over at this time, but, due to factors of cost of living, folks are finding it's hard and expensive to take care of animals. They took on a lot of pets during COVID, apparently. Veterinary shortages, I did not realize, seemed like we were pumping a ton of vets through vet school, or young people through vet school, but apparently that's an issue. So I'm just curious as to how these things are impacting us, as well as, that we're not alone, in other words. So that's not an excuse to not do something, but
Right.
it's comforting to know that others are facing it as well.
And if you're okay, we'll do a kind of an update on both that data and kind of a report on
Yeah.
John's comment about the, when you have to euthanize, et cetera. So,
Yeah,
anything else there, Commissioner Sewell?
no.
Okay, Commissioner Neighbor.
I just want to pile on Joe's compliment to Steve Hensley and expand that. Known Steve, most of my life, and sometimes in not great situations when in my youth. But look, if you've had the opportunity to serve like Steve or Spike or anybody in any of our services here that deal with people or animals or human beings in less than favorable circumstances. And you can take it home, and you can do it without taking it home or being affected by it. You're kind of inhumane, period. So it's unfortunate whatever happened or didn't happen or whatever. But I know the people who work here and in all these different capacities, and I know what it takes. I've been on the other side of it in the fire department and stuff like that on highways with people who weren't in good positions. It's a very difficult task, no matter whether it's human or animal life or whatever. And I'm sorry that it happened. I'm sorry for anybody who had to deal with it, because you just can't not take it home. So let's not lose sight of the fact that we're all kind of, the goal of everybody is to make sure that everybody does end up okay, and sometimes it just doesn't happen that way. So, but for those involved, on any side of this thing, you've got my deepest respect and sympathy for what happened, so.
Thank you, Commissioner. There are just two things I wanted to point out, one of which is about what I wanted to vocalize my total support for Callie Sauer and the work she's been doing, entering the shelter and through challenging times. It's quite frankly, it's probably one of the most challenging departments we have, because I use the term retail, but it's the most engaging with the public of a number of individuals that we have, probably more, in some cases, more than the police department at times. But it's very, very much a lot of residents who engage with the fiscal court through the shelter. While we'll never be perfect, I want to just voice that publicly to Kelly and her efforts to try and continue the work, and also acknowledge the investment. And we'll update this in later term for looking at the data. Also the data of investment. We've invested a lot more money, and both in terms of teams and facilities and improvements for the shelter over the past 5, 6, 8 years. And again, we'll never be perfect, and we're always going to be looking to get better, and we will continue to work on that and communicate. There is anybody who ever wants to meet with me on any topic, but especially in these topics, I'm very open and have met with many individuals who we're just trying to explain some of the challenges we have and listen to their great ideas. And then there's always oftentimes there's not a perfect solution, but we want to do the best solution possible, and that's what we're going to continue to do. Number one. Number two, I want to say thanks for the chief. He had his team just to inform me and educate me on a little bit on the police department, some of the firearms that we've had to should be investing in and supporting our police department, and how that's used today. So that was very informative, and thank you, Chief. And we'll continue to learn more about the kind of tools that we give our police department, and they need to do that every year, and hopefully they know that they're supporting them. And then on the formalization, last item, we do need to approve the modify of our fiscal court schedule of our November 12th meeting that would move to at 10:30 a.m. In Kenton, in Covington at the Government Center there. So we'd ask for approval to adjust the schedule.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We don't have a need for executive session, right? So I would just ask for a motion to
So
adjourn.
moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Have a great night, everybody. Thanks.